Hey guys, hope you guys are all doing alright. So I'm just doing another video here today for it's a stock analysis on Meta, just a quick one with some price action strategies. So if you guys didn't know, so banks right now they're long well, not all tech stocks, but pretty much like some of the popular ones, they're long tech stocks right now. So as you can see, tech's been doing pretty well for the last 7-8 months. So last time we talked about the fair value gap that we had here. I'm not sure if this was in the if it was in a short or if it was in a video, I can't remember. But we broke this, so where the crosshair is now, we broke this red. So there was kind of like sell pressure here, sell liquidity. So it looks like buyers broke that. So we had some buy liquidity here. Seems like buyers took over here. And that continued until the nearest, I believe. So we broke the red to the upside here. We broke that red there to the upside to the nearest bottom of the green. Oh, sorry. So we have, so just to like the nearest bottom of the green, and then we had pretty much, so that's what happened there. So recently on the daily, we had, so there's a bit of a gap here. So we broke this red to the downside, to the nearest top of red. In that case, it was pretty close to being filled, not 100%. So we could see some continued sell pressure. It wasn't really, it kind of opened up, it gapped down at open. That's the problem. That was the problem here. Sometimes that can occur, especially with stocks. So it's not like that. It's not like the greatest, it's not like the greatest gap here. But it did open lower. So perhaps that was kind of expected at the open. So let's just see how the weekly's doing here. Is there any more there really? Well, I guess it hasn't really filled completely, so that may continue down a bit more. Of course, it's still higher. So let's just see how the weekly's doing here. So if we broke this, pretty much if this candle, if we broke that green one there to the downside, which it hasn't yet, then we could go to the top of the nearest red. So that would be down there. So that, actually no, that wouldn't really work, because that one's not it's not a red candle. That one's green. So there's not, okay, so the actual red to break would be down there. So it's quite far. On the weekly, it looks like sellers are quite far down from right now. Let's just have a look. Well, monthly, same idea. Sellers are quite far down, so it seems like this is quite bullish right now. On the monthly, that's why, of course, banks are long tech. Just kind of from a price action perspective, I think since we broke this one, we could break down here. And then if we break down here, this level, we could travel down here. It's possible. I could draw those out for you guys if you want. Excuse me. Sorry, so I'll just kind of put some liquidity areas here. So that line was kind of broken there to the downside. It may continue. Then the next level, where sellers were looking to sell, where it was down there. And then yeah, so that's pretty much the next level here. How's the 4 hour looking? Let's just have a look at that. Okay, so there was a bit of a gap here. Once again, we did have that open, but as you can see, this level here was broken. Pretty much the nearest top of red is quite far. It's down there. It was almost reached, but not yet completely. This may continue red tomorrow, we'll see. Once again, this was today, so let me just kind of map out with this fair value gap strategy where the points were. Whoops, sorry. Where the well, I can just move that line. I'll just move the weekly line up here. Actually, can I move that up? Okay, there we go. So the bottom one right there, that was broken on that candle. If you guys can see it properly, let me just try to adjust it. Sorry, I'm just on my phone screen here. So that level here was broken to the downside. And I think that kind of gap down it opened, that was a problem here. That may continue. As you can see, it looks like sellers started to continue with the sell here. So that could continue to the nearest top of red, which would be, excuse me, around here. Change the color of that line. Yeah, so that's possible to continue down to 268. I know it's not really that far, but it is still, it was quite a bit far from here. So 272 to 268. That was kind of your gap. Where's the next one? Well, the next one is pretty much it would be below here. But it's possible, since we're quite bullish, we could see some more we could see some more buyers kind of looking to buy, maybe perhaps around these levels for continued uprise. Of course, banks are quite bullish on Meta right now. If you haven't heard, you heard it from me. They've been quite bullish. I know a lot of Canadian banks are quite bullish on tech as of right now. So that means that they're buying a lot of shares of tech, or they're holding a lot of tech shares for the long term for a buy. So where could we see? There was kind of a bit of a break, kind of a gap up here. There wasn't like this. Oops, sorry, I can't really see it. That level there was kind of broken to the upside. I mean, there wasn't too much there. I mean, obviously, we haven't been at these levels since, when's the last time we were at these levels? You couldn't even see that. I mean, it's quite far. We haven't been back here since February 2022. So it's quite a ways back. For you to look for the nearest whatever liquidity zone to take profits on that is quite far. I'm not sure how bots are doing with that. Again, you'd have to use an array of candles. That seems like the candles would go very far back, so perhaps there's more opportunities to the downside. We're on the 4 hour, I think. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Yeah, I was trying to code that. I had something, I was trying to share something with you guys. I had a code for an RSI, kind of like an indicator I created, but the second part of it didn't work, so I'll just try to get back to the first part. So we're on the 4 hour, I think, here. Alright, so it's possible perhaps to get down here. Looks like there's still quite a bit of buyers here. We could see, like I said, we could see some perhaps some sell movement back down here. And then once we break these levels, perhaps we could start to kind of break out again. once again, we haven't been up to these levels in quite a while. It is possible that we could see some kind of like retracing here. Perhaps a bit of profit taking could occur. So I'll probably just end it there. So thanks for watching, guys. If you guys like the video, you can like and subscribe to support the channel for more programming and investing tutorials. In the next video, we'll be talking about perhaps another stock.